Tina Traster from the Rockland County Business Journal. We say good morning.
Good morning, everybody, on this very morning. Very snowy. How did you guys get to work? Out the road?
My daughter and granddaughter took me over last night, and I tried to sleep, and I did for about 10 minutes.
I got here around 11:30 last night.
I hope there's a good cot or a good couch.
No, there's nothing.
Is not.
Nothing.
Nope.
No, and then how do you leave?
I may stay here overnight. I'm not sure yet.
No, I hope my daughter will show up with my granddaughter's car because hers is pretty good in the snow. But I'll get out of here.
All right. Well, I'm tracking the interesting and sort of uneven economy, the local economy here, and I see a lot of different trends all at once. So, for example, we know that retail is struggling. We talk about that a lot. Last week we wrote a story about the Lululemon location shutting down at the shops at Nanuet. So that's another one bites the dust over there. Not good news for the shops at Nanuet. Also, American Eagle Outfitters is closing more than 200 stores, so that puts into jeopardy the location at the Palisades Center. But in contrast to, to retail and maybe restaurants or entertainment, where we do see interesting strength is in several sectors, including supermarkets. We wrote last week about the opening of a new supermarket in the village of West Haverstraw on 9W called Antillana Superfood. They will be having a ribbon cutting, I would say, within about 2 weeks. We're seeing a lot and hearing from brokers, that real estate brokers, commercial brokers, that there's a lot of interest in warehousing. We know that there are senior housing projects on the books, lots of them. Storage spaces. The CubeSmart in Nanuet sold for $18 million recently, which is a pretty penny and shows kind of the interest. Housing. Housing is I think the most interesting thing of all. We put up a story yesterday for today about two Nyack residential projects, both of which seem to be sold or on hold. One is the Montclair, which is right at the gateway, right at the top of Nyack, and that's been going since 2016. That's a 48 rental unit project done by Joe Lagana, and he just secured an $8 million building loan to move forward with that project. Similarly, in Nyack, where there's definitely the demand, it seems, for housing, there was a smaller project called Diana Place, where they were going to develop a 26-unit multifamily rental apartment, and the owner-developer, JED Realty, had put the whole project up for sale a little while, I don't know, about a year ago or so, maybe less, and he's decided to take that project back and move forward and develop. So there's this sense, there's this confidence that the pressures on I guess people in urban spaces who have been really pumping activity into this suburban market. I think that there's confidence to move forward with these housing projects. Similarly, we saw a couple of commercial shopping centers sold. The Colonial Place, that's where the Cornerstone Cafe is in Congers. That shopping center just sold for $4 million. And the office complex in Orangeburg, 100 Dutch Hill Road, which is sort of a Class B office complex, that just sold for $9 million. It's smaller, much smaller, but we've even seen the voters of Nyack say yes to the district to go ahead and buy that little strip mall where where the Pie Lady site was for about $700,000, just simply to turn into parking. But the point is that there are sectors of the economy where the wheels are turning, and then there are sectors of the economy where there's more stress. We are anticipating the opening finally of At Home. I think on Wednesday there's a ribbon cutting, so that's in the former Macy's building. But you still have half of that building empty, and that broker is putting out incentives for other brokers to bring tenants to that building. So it's kind of interesting to look at kind of the global perspective for our county on where the buzz is and where the pain or where the stall is. And to try to figure out what it all means.
You mentioned At Home, which is the upper level of what used to be Macy's, right?
I think it's the lower level.
I'm sorry. Okay. What about what used to be Sears?
Yeah, that remains. I mean, Simon is very tight-lipped. I mean, it's very hard to know what they're thinking about. But as they continue to hemorrhage and lose one tenant at a time, we're watching the Gap. We're watching some other Banana Republic. We're waiting to see if there is word that will reopen, but when we're watching that. That shopping center, I mean, that is going to need one hell of a boost. And I don't know if that's going to come one tenant at a time or whether that's going to involve a whole reimagination. And same with the Palisades Center. I mean, we wrote a story, too, last week about a couple of new food places, food entities that are opening there. But that's not enough. That's not going to be enough to deal with their empty anchors and their now access to their 250,000 square feet on the fourth floor. These shopping malls are, I think, the most stressed properties of all in terms of trying to figure out what to do, how to go forward, and at what pace. But there is commercial real estate activity for sure. There's definitely confidence in the supermarket sector, senior housing. Some of the things that warehousing. Very strong right now. Storage space. I don't know why, but it's strong. There are sectors of the market that are where you can see investors or you can see developers are showing a confidence in moving forward. I think I guess what's just taken the biggest hit is retail, hospitality, restaurants, places where we have to gather.
I got one more question, then we'll let you go. There was some years ago a plethora of places where kids could go, have birthday parties, scream and yell. There was Chuck E. Cheese's, one called Screaming Maniac. I don't know what the hell. There were 4 or 5 of them all over the place. Are they all gone now? Have they reached their peak?
Yeah, I think that we have seen a winnowing out of those places for sure. Definitely. I mean, yeah, and dance studios. And I mean, I guess there's some sense that the children are more immune, obviously, to this virus. But yeah, I mean, any place. I mean, there is some talk that the West Rock athletic center or tennis center. We have heard some chatter about that property possibly looking for an owner. They deny it, but we've seen some correspondence that suggests otherwise. And also, the Sportorama was recently purchased, and I don't know if that will remain an athletic center. So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting to track, what's up, what's down, and it's very stark. The differences are very stark. Like I say always, the problem is that Clarkstown specifically is very retail dependent, And so, that's going, I predict that will shift. I think we're in a big reset. I've been saying that for a long time, and we shall see as we move forward.
All right, Tina Traster of the Rockland County Business Journal, thank you very much. Now, if anybody would like to read more in depth about what these stories contain, you can go to the website, which is Rockland. RCBIZjournal.com.
Right.
RCBIZ, that's rockbizjournal.com.
And anybody who wants to receive our free daily newsletter with 1 to 2 news stories a day should just sign on, put their email address on the homepage, and click, and you will get that in your mailbox every morning at 7 a.m. It's a good way to stay on top of what's going on, and it's easy and it's free.
All right, Tina, thanks a lot.
Take care.
Talk to you next week.